Guys, it's Stephen here. Just before we start today's City Social, I want to say thank you to OneFootball. Yep, I'm repping some OneFootball merch. Thank you, OneFootball, for sending this jumper. It's absolutely beautiful, as is their wonderful app, downloaded by over 10 million people for the cost of absolutely nothing. It's a wonderful app, and you can get it right now in the link in the description for free. Genuinely costs nothing, and you get all your Manchester City news and all the news from the world of football. So if you love Manchester City, if you love football, and if you love staying up to date with all the goings on in the world of football and City, what are you waiting for? Go and download it right now in the link in the description. It's an absolutely brilliant app. I promise you, I wouldn't lie to you. Go and download it. Help support my channel. Get all your City news and all that kind of stuff. And enjoy that wonderful app. Big love to OneFootball for supporting the channel. Anyway, let's go over to today's video. Transition. Hey guys, Hey guys, it's definitely not the third start of this video. I definitely didn't forget to press record beforehand. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. I'm joined by two debutantes on Esteemed Company today on the City Social. Two very familiar faces. Well, one probably not a familiar face, but definitely a familiar voice in the City community. And of course, you know, Jordan from City Xtra. But we'll start with Joe. Joe, of course, Joe Butterfield is one Mr. Football Twitter winder-upper. Genuinely very good at that. And also, obviously, a contributor to City Xtra. And just started his own 9320 podcast kind of show as well. Joe, how you doing, man? And thank you for coming on the channel. Welcome to Esteemed Company.
I'm doing very good. Yeah, it's nice to. It's a good place to start my YouTube appearances for the first time ever, I think, on the City YouTube world. Anyway, so yeah, lovely stuff.
Yeah, this is the bit where previously in the fake intro I recorded, I asked Joe, I was like, "Oh, is this your first time on YouTube?" And he went, "Well, no, I did something else." And now we're essentially this is all scripted. This bit now.
I've had to preempt what the questions you're going to ask now
because I didn't press record, and also. You all know Jordan from City Xtra, a wonderful YouTube channel, kind of basically storming the Man City space, really. Jordan, how you doing, man? You good to see you on the channel?
Yeah, I think it's a collab that we get spam with all the time. People saying, "Oh, collab."
Yeah, basically.
So it's good to actually finally do this and finally have time. I think you say it quite a lot, like the fact that we're both always doing stuff at the exact same time.
It's literally it.
Link up. Like,
it's really hard
to understand that when you're streaming, we're streaming and stuff. So.
It's like, unfortunately, we're both, doing the same content, basically, so it's what it is. But every now and then, obviously, we will get together on these kind of things, and it's good fun. Thank you guys, anyway, for coming on the channel. Obviously, it's because there will be links, by the way, to their shows, 9320 and obviously City Xtra in the description below. But obviously, it's a bloody huge game tomorrow, and I'm incredibly nervous. I'm a little bit apprehensive always, because I always am before a game like this. But before we get on to like the debate about positions and starting 11 and all that kind of stuff, Jordan, how are you feeling ahead of the game tomorrow in terms of City's general confidence and all that kind of stuff? What do you reckon?
I'm more confident than I have been for a long time. I don't know what that says, because I'm never really that confident, especially with being Anfield. But I generally hate these kind of games, because it makes me feel sick. I hate Derby and stuff. Hate that. But it's just because nerds. I'm used to old City where we get slapped all the time, get roasted by your mates and stuff. So I'm just used to that side of it still. So I think that's ingrained in my brain forever. I think even years from now, I'll still get this sick feeling before these kind of games. But this is one where I think a lot of fans, so definitely it's like showing in like the community and Twitter and stuff, that people are a lot more confident going in ahead of this game. Yeah. They have a much depleted side than what usually is. But I'm confident, but I'm going to be quiet about being confident.
Yeah. I've done so many like tweets recently. I'm thinking I need to delete them just because I'm thinking like, and then just like I think I did a tweet the other day where I'm not sure if I bottled it when I was pissed last night, but I think I might have deleted it. But it was there like, oh, can anyone else see Liverpool imploding really quickly at the moment or something like that? And it was annoyingly that it's probably true, but I still bottled it anyway. But it's obviously we've all been a bit noisy. Joe, what about yourself, man? How are you feeling? Are you looking forward to the game? Are you terrified? Are you optimistic? What's your feeling?
I feel the same as Jordan, where like I'm always basically I always see Anfield as just like you can write it off. It's just we're not going to get 3 points in that game. It's just if we get any more than 1 point, it's great. It's like, you know, a massive bonus. I always expect a defeat, to be honest, but this season, with everything that's sort of gone on around Liverpool in the last couple of months, with the injuries that they've got, I don't know if Alisson's going to be back for the game tomorrow, but if he is, then there's not a better time for us to attempt to sort of break this weird Anfield voodoo that we've got over us at the moment. Like, if we're going to ever do it, it's got to be this weekend, because otherwise I can't see, you know, when we're going to do it. And if we do it, you know, that takes us so far ahead of them still with a game in hand that for me the title race is dead if we win. I think it's all for us. But yeah, generally I feel quite confident. I don't know if I should be concerned by the fact that I do feel confident. I feel like it's one of them where I'm going to go into it expecting us to win, and then we won't, and it'll crush me. But there is also, like I say, with the points difference that we have at the moment, there is also the fact that if we don't win, or even if we lose, like we've still got a sizable gap. So it's one of them where we can go in, and if we lose, I'm going to be annoyed because it would have been a great chance for us to do this. But otherwise, I'm not going to be crying about it or anything because we're still in a great position even if we do lose.
You're not really taking Ollie's plucky underdogs seriously then? You don't think United are rivals? Because obviously they're much closer to us than Liverpool at the moment. You're not really concerned about them?
Nah, they've for me, I think United are far too dependent on individuals. Like if it's not Bruno Fernandes pulling something out, then it's Rashford pulling something out, and then it's Pogba pulling something out. And if neither of those three come up with a moment of brilliance in a game, like we've seen in the points that they've dropped in the last, pretty much every game they've dropped points this season. It's because one or all three of those people haven't turned up, especially Bruno. I think if he doesn't turn up, then United generally don't do very well. And to put all that on one player for a whole season just isn't really sustainable. Plus, we've seen enough from Ollie in the time that he's been managing United to see that there's gonna be a few weeks where he has like United just have a complete blip and they just fail to win games for a few. The Ollie out conversation, I think, will come up again before the end of the season because of the run of form that they're on.
A big Bert prediction there, man. I want it.
It's on YouTube now. I'm terrified it's going to get clipped up if something goes wrong. But
I'll throw you under the bus.
I just think personally, I would say that Liverpool are the ones to worry about for us. But I think if we win this weekend, then we don't even need to worry about them. I think it's done.
Do you feel the same way, Jordan? How do you feel about United, Leicester in general? Is it pretty much Liverpool that you're still paying attention to?
I think I keep Liverpool in my sights at all times because they're closest to us. I think they're the closest to matches in terms of ability. We've seen the football that they can do. I think this is now a good time for us to kind of put Liverpool's title race to bed. I just think if we win our game in hand, it's 13 points. Then if we win on Sunday, and I just think that's too. I just think that's too much. It's too much for them to claw back. Obviously, stranger things have happened though. But still,
don't.
I just think, put that to bed. And as much as I don't take United as serious title contenders, although they are second, like Lewis always says, it's an elephant in a tree. Do you know what I mean? It goes up and it'll fall down hard. I don't know what they're saying is.
What does that mean? An elephant in the tree?
Yeah, honestly, I
love it though.
He just baffles me every time he says it. I just think, I just can't see it. I can't see it for the longevity of the season. For what's left, I don't see them maintaining what we can maintain. But having said that, if we win on Sunday, my attention does then turn to United. It just has to because they're second, and I agree with that. To make as big of a gap as between us and United, and kind of show why they're not real title contenders. I mean, let's not let them have any chance of it through the end of the season. You know what I mean?
No, you're spot on. I mean, I guess it's one way of looking at it. Not that we can, obviously they're our main rivals, but it's one way of basically almost like kicking someone out the title race, isn't it? Like to have the power to essentially eliminate someone, which it's obviously not, as you said, stranger things have happened, but I don't think anyone would deny that if we beat Liverpool at the weekend, they will feel anyway that maybe that they're out of it. And obviously that feeling of that power of making them feel that way is quite important, So obviously we probably can look at United more if we get United out. Sorry, look at United more if we get Liverpool out of the conversation, which I think is probably a realistic thing. And I guess then the conversation comes on to how we do that. Now, Jordan, obviously, I think there's a couple of areas of the team that are still for debate in terms of starting it. But we'll start initially with the fullbacks because there is a dilemma or two there for Guardiola. You've got... even Mendy has kept clean sheets against Liverpool, so he's got a good record against Liverpool. You've got Laporte, of course, who can play left back. You've got Cancelo, who can play there. And Guardiola was talking beforehand in the game about how, Zinchenko and Delph have been really useful as that kind of secondary midfielder kind of thing. And obviously you got Kyle Walker, who Guardiola trusts. What do you do? What if you're Guardiola now? If you're beautiful and you're bold and you're wonderful like Jordan, obviously you're beautiful already, but if you're bold and beautiful like Guardiola, what do you do, man? What lineup do you pick in the defence?
First things first, if I was bold, I would not be beautiful. I could probably should.
That goes for all of us, mate. Don't worry about it.
I fear that day every night. My thing is weird. I can see cases for all the points. I can see a case for Walker starting and Cancelo starting as left back because it worked the first time we played them. However, I think we're a different team to them. And for me, my head says stick with what's taken us through January and stick with Zinchenko. Yes, I understand the Laporte thing. It offers a bit more defensiveness and I just don't want us to switch it up. Leon was a full switch up, and I don't want us to switch it up in something that isn't tried and tested. The Zinchenko left back at the moment took us through all of January. We only conceded 2 goals, so I think I can trust him. I can trust him for this game, and it's time for as well. We can then see if Zinchenko can step up. Can he step up to this game? Can we actually? It'll kind of cement Zinchenko's place in this team for me, and I'm loyal in it. I'm sticking to Zinchenko.
Zinny, little beautiful Zinny. I mean, Joe, 2 questions really, I guess. What would you do personally, and what do you actually think Guardiola would do in terms of the defence?
What I would do personally is exactly what Jordan said. I would stick with what sort of worked for us so far, which is Cancelo and Zinchenko. I wouldn't go changing it up because I think that ultimately, if we change it, that shows to Liverpool that we're scared of them. I want us to just go in there with basically our strongest team and just go for them and not worry about and not spend the whole game sort of worrying about them, which is obviously where it comes to what I think Pep will do, which is where I think Pep probably will play Kyle Walker. I think he's going to be really sort of wary of the pace of Mane. But I can't see a world where in his current form Cancelo doesn't start. But then also, Laporte played midweek, and I don't think that's just a random thing that he's done. I think that's something that he's maybe done with one eye on Anfield. So it's impossible to know what Pep's going to do, but I wouldn't be shocked if it was Walker and Cancelo again. But I also wouldn't be shocked if he stuck with Cancelo and then Laporte actually was brought in to sort of basically when we've not got the ball, then it is that 3 at the back and maybe a bit less susceptible to counter-attacks because we've got 3 proper defenders back there rather than Zinchenko and Cancelo. Ultimately, if they both play, they're both going to move into centre mid. So if they counter-attack us, which is probably going to be Liverpool's entire game plan, then you've got 2-on-2 or 3-on-2 in that case, and then we're probably not in a great position. So I would probably expect that Pep will put Laporte at left back just because of that.
And obviously, you can go back to the infamous 2019 game now, obviously, the huge victory over Liverpool a few years back. And Laporte actually started that game left back, didn't he? I think we had Danilo right back. Was it Stones alongside Vinny, I reckon? I mean, we know, obviously, Guardiola has previous for doing that. Literally, he's done it already beforehand. I mean, we had no defenders that day, so it's a different kind of question. But I wouldn't be surprised either. I mean, my only concern is Laporte's not played much football recently. I don't think that's unfair either. I thought he was fine the other day. I don't think he was particularly great or anything like that. But I think he looks a little bit like someone who's trying to rediscover his form, as opposed to doing anything wrong, just a little bit, hesitant. But it's tough, isn't it? Could you make a case for Laporte starting either, do you reckon? Or I don't know.
Whether he should?
Yeah.
Go on, Jordan.
Thanks, mate. I can make a case for it in the sense that it offers a very fluid line. When we're going forward, things change about, then we can drop into that back three, and then if Cancelo's playing on the right hand side, he can come into midfield. I can make a case for it in that sense, and we did play against Burnley and we won 2-0. So, going Guardiola's eyes, he's like, oh, we won with it. Kind of like the same way when Raheem Sterling scores 2 goals but misses 5 sitters. He's like, Raheem Sterling's the best striker in the world. But I genuinely think I can make a case for it in the sense that it offers a bit more defensiveness, like you say.
Yeah.
I think we have won with it before, like say 2019, but I don't know. All in all, I just can't. I can't see it happening. I see. I don't.
What do you see happening, Jordan? What do you see happening, Jordan? Because obviously I asked Joe that question in terms of defense.
I think he will. I don't think he's going to lose Zinchenko. I genuinely think it'll either be the Kyle Walker Cancelo situation or it will be Laporte like in midweek. I think that's what we'll see. Yeah. I'd love it if he started Zinchenko because for me that kind of says we're going at him. You know what I mean? It kind of puts a statement out there like it doesn't matter who you are. We'll put our best team in front of us and we're going to beat you. I think it's
strange that he was it last week. It was the game before Laporte came into the squad that he sort of singled out Zinchenko and talked about how important he is in the build up and how he's really sort of he's helped the team be as good as they have been throughout all of January. But then since he said that, he's not played him, and I thought that maybe him playing midweek might have just been giving Zinchenko a bit of a rest because over January Stones and Diaz have both been given rests in like the cups and stuff like that, whereas Zinchenko hasn't had one. So maybe midweek was just giving him that rest before Liverpool. But I'm with Jordan. I think realistically, it's probably going to be Laporte, isn't it?
That's a mad world if we're seeing Zinchenko giving a rest with Laporte coming in. Like, I mean, how quickly things change. The idea, it's crazy, isn't it? But I mean, you've got to admire Zinchenko because he keeps coming back, doesn't he? He keeps showing how useful he is to the squad. And I think I'm probably both of you guys. I think I would prefer Zinchenko playing. I don't know. I think he's earned it, and I think he's been better in games like this when we needed to be than we realised. Like, particularly, I remember the Carabao Cup final when he was excellent against Chelsea defensively. He can be really switched on. But I reckon Kyle Walker and Cancelo, but I would not be surprised to see Laporte either. In terms of the forward line, I guess someone's going to miss out here. So you've got obviously Gabby has scored 3 in his last 3, I think it has, and obviously you got Foden banging form, rested the other day. Sterling, I personally obviously missed a chance or two, but weirdly, by the way, I thought Sterling's 1-on-1 was one of his less frustrating misses because he didn't hesitate. At least he just missed it, but as opposed to cutting back or doing something stupid.
For me, he should have squared it. So was it Mahrez who was coming? Who was running? Yeah, he should have done that for me. But in terms of actually not putting the chance away, I know exactly what you mean. It wasn't.
Yeah, because he didn't normally. He's frustrating Sterling anyway when he runs back and then he dawdles and he decides what to do and he cuts back into mid-time. That time he was through on goal, took 2 touches, took a shot away and made a good save. It's annoying to miss, but at least he wasn't faffing about. If you know what I mean. At least he kind of just got on with it. But anyway, I thought Sterling was live the other day, and obviously we know how much Guardiola loves Sterling. And then Mahrez has been in pretty decent form as well recently. So you've got 4 players there. Jordan, which 3 are you picking? And also, once again, which 3 do you think Guardiola's going to pick?
I'm going with Raheem Sterling right wing. I feel like
I forgot about Ferran Torres, by the way. So you're titled to throw him in as well if you want to, but obviously it's an option there. Yeah, I forgot about. Sorry, Ferran.
Poor Ferran.
Oh, Ferran. Yeah. To be fair to Ferran, I don't think he'll start this game. I genuinely don't think he'll start this game. I think it's a bit too soon. If we are going to start him, we'll probably throw him in a striker. And I think that's a disservice to Jesus the way he's been playing. He has scored in his last 2 games. So I am going with Jesus up top. A lot of City fans have been backing him for this game, and I'm going to back him as well. End of the day, he has to show us that he's got it. So why not in the biggest game of the season? Right wing Sterling. Sterling, never has a good time against Liverpool, or very rarely. So he needs to break the duck. And on the right hand side, I feel like he offers a bit more creatively. He doesn't get the goals as much, but he's not getting the goals anyway that much. So he can offer a bit more creatively on the right hand side. And then left wing, it has to be Phil Foden for me. I think this guy, he is it. He's already there. He's one of our best players in our team, so he has to start. He's too important to not play.
Is that a Mahrez agenda there, Jordan? You got to be careful, man.
No Mahrez agenda here. To be fair, right? Mahrez actually did play well against Liverpool the time when he missed the penalty. However, I just don't see him playing this game.
Still missed the penalty, though, didn't
I'm just transferring the hate onto you because I've had enough of it right now.
Someone take it, please. To our channel,
someone else take the Mahrez agenda. Apparently, he's invincible. He's played well recently, Mahrez. That's the thing that's frustrating about this whole agenda thing. Like every time he plays well, everyone's like, "Yeah, he's played well. That's it." Like that. It's just consistency. That's all people want from Mahrez, which is it's not even unreasonable.
I do believe, by the way, I do think he's a bit mismanaged. Do you know what I mean? Mahrez will go out there, score a hat-trick and get dropped for the next game. I do kind of feel like he's a little bit mismanaged.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Well, what about yourself, Joe? In terms of that front 4, who are you going to pick? And also, I guess actually we'll get back to you in a second, Jordan, because we didn't really ask who you think Guardiola would pick. But Joe, go for you for now. That's all right, man.
So what I want is Gabby, Sterling, and Foden. But what I think will happen is I think he might bench Foden. I think we might see something. I think because every big game Guardiola's got a why's he done that in him, and I think that we're gonna if Laporte plays left back like I think he will. I think Mahrez on the right is what we'll see because Laporte plays a lot of those pinged balls over the top that Mahrez just loves to just caress with the outside of his left foot and just take from there. So I think if we've got Laporte, then Mahrez probably comes in with that. And then I just don't think he's not playing Sterling. I just think it's just what him and Jesus are probably nailed on. I really just think it comes down to who you then put in with them out of Mahrez and Foden.
I think that's fair.
So,
I think Do we all presume Jesus and Sterling are probably going to start? They feel like the ones that are most likely to start to me. I think is that a fair conclusion from everyone?
I think Sterling's been much better against Liverpool since we've not had crowds as well, which is I think honestly I think with him it's all in his head because he doesn't like the especially at Anfield. He can't come to terms with that crowd. And he scored against him in the Community Shield as well, didn't he at Wembley last year? So I think that and sadly there's no Joe Gomez for him to roast this time. But I think Sterling's been quite good against Liverpool in his last few appearances, to be fair to him, and Jesus is just in such good form that you can't drop him. So yeah, I
probably agree with that. And who do you reckon he's going to start, Jordan? I mean, is it obviously Sterling, Mahrez, Foden, Jesus? What do you reckon?
Like you say, Pep always has this "why has he done that" thing in him, but. How can't you see that Foden is so important to his team? He gets important goals, and he just has to play him. But then how do you fit everyone in? You can't fit everyone in, can you? I don't know, man. I just can't see a situation where Foden is dropped. I can't. But also, Sterling and Jesus have to play. So I'm gonna stick. I'm gonna stick with Jesus, Sterling, and Foden left. I'm gonna stick. I hope so, anyway.
I don't think that's unreasonable, man. I don't think that's unreasonable. I think you've got. I was sat there the other day thinking about what's he going to do, which is going to be really frustrating. Like I was thinking, is he going to do something weird, like Gundogan on the right wing? Like previous, like he did at Anfield years ago or something like that. But he might be more familiar than we realise this one, I reckon. But anyway, so we've got that kind of team sorted, really. Do you dare make a prediction, Joe? Like, or general, like, go on, give me an overview of how this match is going to go. A rough overview of the first half and second half, and give me a score.
I think there's going to be a goal in the first 10 minutes. I think it's going to be I would like to think we're going to come flying out of the traps against Liverpool because this team is going to know that if we beat them, then like I said at the start of the video, like they're done if we beat them. So I'd like to think that Guardiola, especially after what you saw what he was like in his press conference yesterday, he's going to be up for this one, and he'll really get the team up for it as well. So hopefully it's us who get that early goal.
He meant 2 days, apparently, mate. Apparently, he meant 2 days, not 2 weeks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Fucking nonsense. Absolute bollocks. That's dumber. It's actually genuinely dumber. It's like, imagine saying, oh, yeah, but they had a 2 day break. And it makes you look stupid. How could he possibly mean 2 days? It's more embarrassing than 2 weeks. Genuinely.
It's pathetic. But I think the team is going to be, they're going to be well up for it because of that will have helped them get up for it if they weren't already. You know what? I think it's going to be like 3-0 to us or something. I think this is clip it up, boys. This is going to be the one where we
you fucked yourself, man.
this is the break for your YouTube career.
This is the one where we beat them. It might not be 3-0, but I think this is the one where we win this weekend, I think.
Nah, go big or go home, man. 3-0, I'm taking it. taking it. What about yourself, Jordan? Are you gonna end yourself online on the internet? Or are you gonna be more cautious? What do you reckon?
The videos we've done, I've probably done that already lots of times. Just
Unlisting
for the win.
I think Liverpool are going to come out heavy because they need to win. End of the day, a draw is they need to come out and beat us. And we've got the big Rubens and we've got John Stones who are smashing.
The big Rubens.
I don't see what's going. I think they'll come at us. It's the biggest test that Ruben Dias has faced as a City defender, and I think he'll excel with it. I think we're going to keep a clean sheet, and we're going to win 2-0.
Do you know what, man? I think my preview as well, I said we're going to win as well. I something about it. I mean, it has to be a factor, doesn't it? This Anfield thing, the crowd. It has to be a leveler. And obviously, last time we I feel we should have beat him at the Etihad as well. I was there actually doing the City. We're not really here show. And we were the better team that day, and I feel like we were stuck in second gear, and we weren't that confident back then either. Like imagine a confident Manchester City now was better than Liverpool now, who are worse now than they were then. So it's surely.
I think as well it comes down to their centre-back options are awful. Like they've got two guys who they've just signed. So you're either putting two debutants in for the first ever game.
They won't play. They won't play well.
They won't. I think at best one of them plays, and even then you've still got the same kind of issue for one of your centre-backs. The other one is either if Fabinho's not fit, the other one's Henderson, and then you've got or Nat Phillips, which is you've got either someone who's obviously not good enough for Premier League level or a midfielder at centre-back. And if they've not got Alisson, then we've got to Pep should just say, just shoot from anywhere, because just like there's any chance that we can do something with a back three, like the keeper 2 centre-back triangle like that.
Yeah.
We should be able to get goals against that. And I'm with Jordan. I think Ruben Diaz is going to. These are the games that it sounds like Ruben Diaz lives for if his interviews or anything to go off. So
there you
I
go.
think, we're in for a good one. I think, hopefully.
A Diaz bullet header to open the scoring, man. How much is that good? I want to see him score first when the fans are bad, but I wouldn't. Would anyone be surprised Diaz scoring tomorrow? I don't know. It feels like it's written in the stars. Guys, thank you for coming on. I've really enjoyed that. Jordan's obviously doing incredible work over on the City Xtra YouTube channel. There'll be a link in the description on the screen right now. Go and subscribe to it. It's fantastic, Blues. And of course, Joe as well, starting his own show. Actually, do you want to tell us a little bit about the show you started, the 9320 Pod, man?
So it's basically now a weekly show where I'm going to just take a selection of topics and go into a bit more detail on them, because most of the pods that are done on 9320 are usually either about the games or there'll be a bit more of like a broader look at issues, but I'm hoping to sort of be able to take them and go into a bit more detail in them in sort of a bit more conversational, chatty kind of way. We're going to have yourself on in this coming week, so we're talking about the academy and stuff like that. So keep an eye out for it. It'll be a good one.
Go check out both of those. They'll be in the link in the description. You know City Xtra, you know 9320. Go and check out all and subscribe. Jordan, thank you for coming on, mate. It's been an honour.
I know, it's good. Good to make my debut.
Yeah, it's lovely, man. It's lovely.
People wanted it. We're giving the people what they want.
Finally. Do you know what I learned today, by the way? He literally built that building they're in right now, like with their bare hands, man. That's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Gotta go there one day. Like, I can't believe you built an actual studio. It's fucking brilliant. When we're allowed to, with the COVID world, I'll pop round one day if you don't mind.
Yes,
it'll be fun.
Definitely. 100%.
And Joe, thank you so much for coming on, man. It's been an honour having you launching your YouTube career.
Oh, it'll be over before it started if we don't win.
Guys, we're going to win. We're going to win. Come on, Man City. Tomorrow, of course, I'll be in a watch-along. Choose one of our watch-alongs. This is the only watch-alongs you need, of course, online. But obviously, come to mine first, then go to theirs. Then back to mine, then back to theirs. Anyway, for now, though, obviously, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and all the usual stuff. Let us know your predictions down in the comments below. Check out their channels and all that kind of stuff. And then get me to 50K. I'm so close to 50K now. Big love to everyone. Big love to Joe and Jordan. And we'll see you all very, very soon. Come on, City.